Kilala, hush, kitty. Get back. No. Okay. Okie dokie, I am back. Thank you for liking, thank you for hearting the stream. Paul, what's up? Dragon Balls? We got you, bro. We're about to get down. We're just getting cozy here in the chair because it's cold. Oh, I wanted coffee. Crap, that's what I wanted. I'll get it later. Dragon Ball Boost Fury. Figure we play this for a little bit and switch games. Jackson Brown. Damn, bro, get a tissue? No, bro. There ain't no tissue gonna stop. It's cold. Goku's coming back. This takes place over the Buu series. Or the Buu saga. Make sure you tell your mom. Yeah, mom's gonna freak out and Goten's going to be so happy he's never met you. Kilala, shut up, Giddy. Hush. What is that, Kilala? What is that sound? Whose cat does that? Can you see Goku's trying to go to the world tournament and you're over here giving the craziest meows ever? Unhinged? I'm gonna assume that I have to go back to his house to tell his mom. Tyler, what's up, bro? You're here early. I'm gonna play some spooky story of a video or something in the back. It's good. I will get it. How's the game system with all the games? Dude, this is it. Okay, so it's actually so Tyler, it's actually really cool. But there is some buts. I'm gonna make a review video of it. Like a big one. But the few issues I have with it is that some of the games cannot run well because the stick itself can't handle them. Whatever emulator it has is not perfectly fine-tuned for every single game. And I accidentally ruined the ROM that it came of Pokemon Crystal because I used a bunch of like Game Shark codes from Pokemon Crystal in the ROM here in the game stick, and I ruined it. Now it won't come on. So I ruined Pokemon Crystal ROM. I put too much stuff in it and broke it. Other than that, everything else works really well. Kilala, gosh, nobody wants to hear that. Hey, whoa, Fang, get down. Whoa, my cat just like shook the TV. Holy moly, I almost died. But I did level up. Kilala! My Kilala's being so annoying. It does look good on the TV, thank you. If there were zero issues, then it would be a 10? Yes. I would say right now I give it an 8 out of 10. The 3DS emulator or the DS emulator on this is sick, but it didn't come with any Pokemon DS games. It did come with Pokemon for the Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color and Game Boy, so that's good. Pokemon Stadium 2, that's good. I don't think I saw every Sonic Advance game, but I saw one. It had Yu-Gi-Oh, the specific one that I like, so that's good. It came with GTA. It came with some PSP games we'll check out here to see how they run. Got delayed 2026. Probably. It'll probably get delayed to 27. Even though it makes no sense why it would get delayed this late into the this late in the game. Like there's no reason for it to get delayed, you know. Oh, this thing has Silent Hill for the PlayStation, so it's actually, but it's in Portuguese. But I can read, I can kind of read Portuguese. Hilala, no. Carajo contigo, ¿ah? In Dragon Ball, this one, we're just at the beginning. If this is the whole Buu arc, we're about to do the tournament. You're impressed with the resolution? It is nice, dude. It is nice. Please tell me you're not going to wear the Saiyan outfit of the tournament. Looks ridiculous. Oh, okay. Several, because you can save states too. Kilala, will you stop? Yeah, you need to stop being annoying. Yeah, you are. Yes, that right there. Super, super duper annoying. Yeah, it is very much so. We'll see. The PSP games, I think it has issues running, so we'll try a PSP game in a little bit. Kilan, I'm gonna get you to stop that. We'll check them out here in a little bit. But again, I did manage to crash the ROM of Pokemon Crystal by putting too many cheats in it. Which makes sense, it's a ROM, it's not going to be able to handle it all. It is cool to have an emulation system, I agree, it is pretty cool. Honestly, I mostly wanted it for the Nintendo 64 games, PlayStation 1 games, and Game Boy Advance games. I could really give a shit about everything else, you know. But it did come with a bunch of stuff I've never heard of. And different versions, like, it has Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 for the N64, but then it has Pro Skater 1 through 4 on the PS1. Were you able to get Pokemon Crystal? No, Pokemon Crystal works, right? It worked perfectly last night. and I was able to use codes to make shiny Pokemon appear. But today, when I try entering it, just like an hour ago, it just keeps crashing because I think I put too many codes in it. So I believe I successfully ruined this console's ROM of Pokemon Crystal. So I can't turn it on. It just crashes the whole thing because I think I put too many cheats on it, like through Game Shark. So I believe I corrupted the file. That's a good question actually. Kilala, Kilala, no. It just crashes the entire stick. I have to turn it off and on. We can give it a shot though. Wow, Fang, what a fucking asshole cat. Wow, why are you guys being assholes? Why are you cats being assholes? What is up? What's your deal? Why are you being assholes? You're fine. You're being good. You're being a good girl. It's the cats that are being stupid. Okay. Also, this is the earliest I joined the stream from you so far. I agree. But I fell asleep. No, you're fine. I'm happy you're able to join again. Thank you. No, dude, I appreciate you coming and hanging out and chatting. You know, I'm just like, I usually don't even talk. I usually just kind of stay quiet and listen to videos in the back while I game. Kilala, no. You're gonna move the tripod. You already. Get down, carajo. God, what fucking cats, man. Why are you guys trying to piss me off? Like, being extra. Damn, dude, this guy's tanking my hits. See, again. Wow. Bro, are you serious with these? Come close to me, cat, and I am smacking you. No, you've made yourself the enemy. No. I do not want any of what you're selling me. You made yourself the enemy. Like both you and Kilala are being super fucking annoying. Get out of here with that. Get out of here. Hello. Hello, Jax. Sorry, I haven't been on the stream as much. I've been going through some really hard times. That's alright, Jax. I understand, man. Just stopping by and saying hi. We are cool, man. Do you have some favorite thing about the Dragon Ball GBA games? This one's my favorite Dragon Ball GBA game. Jax, whatever you're going through, man, I hope it gets better. That's all I can really say. Just I hope whatever you're going through, I hope it just gets better and you get to a position where you don't have to struggle with it. That can be tough, dude. My life is tough right now. I feel you. So there's a restart button. Let's see if it works. Alright, let's see if resetting the game works. It's gonna crash though. Because I ruined the ROM, but we'll try. We reset it a couple times. Okay, not just doing that over and over again. I think we've ruined the ROM, bro. And by we, I think I've ruined the ROM. Damn. Yeah, the ROM is hella bugged. What if we load it? We can't even. But this time it didn't freeze the console. It let us get out of it. So we can. So that's small progress. Let's see. Let's see if it'll freeze. That's absolutely true. Oh, it froze, damn it. Before I... See, it was starting to load and it froze. Ah, that sucks. Get back. Okay, I'm back. Oh, it's so cold though. Okay. What did I say? PSP, Tyler? I mean, I was playing Crisis Core, but it was running kind of buggy. Monster Hunter 3 portable. That sounds pretty chill. Ridge Racer. Let's check it out. The PSP emulator has like hella options though. It has like graphic options. I've turned the graphics up so high it crashes the console. Press the select button to continue on to Ridge Racer. Yo, did this game just... Did it just trick me? This can't be it. Bro, is this really it? This isn't a PSP game. Interesting. I don't understand any of this, but I know it's to make it run better.
Tapping noises from behind the headboard of his bed. This is a surprisingly common feature of poltergeist cases. Tapping not only on walls but on headboards of beds. And he would also feel watched. As he lay there recovering, it was genuinely surreal and frightening. But he told me that the most haunting
Is that really the intro to the game? That's fucking wild.
footsteps downstairs. Climbing up the staircase.
Is select working? I guess not. It is. It is on the other screens. I'll give it that it's rendering this pretty well right now.
Ridge Racer. Footsteps. Now, I've had a similar experience.
Get ready.
Getting in bed with me when I was staying in a haunted New England mansion. And all I can say is I can confirm that the feeling it gives you is absolutely spine-tingling. Keith wondered if all of this could be his imagination. He was on some pretty heavy-duty meds with his knee injury, and so he thought, I must be hallucinating. Well, that theory quickly shriveled in light of what happened next.
Proceed with above choices.
Ooh, ooh, my eye. Maybe the button configuration is what's wrong.
He and Tina were sleeping in bed one night when Keith was woken by some strange sound, and the feeling of
Because on a PSP you don't have R2 and L2, so that might be select. One of those is select.
and he never felt claustrophobia before, even while trapped upstairs for all that time. But this moment,
Ridge Racing World Tour allows you to experience.
Yo, this
the
is
entire
running
scope
really
of the
smoothly.
Ridge universe. From the very first installment released in 1993 to the present.
Dude, it
Come in and find
is
out
select.
what Ridge
Well,
Racing
I think
is
select
all
might be
about.
one of the R2 or
The
L2.
tour is comprised of a series of Ridge Racer World Tour.
so he decided to try something new. He would smudge the house. Smudging is a ritual practice that involves burning herbs, most commonly sage, but also cedar and sawgrass, palo santo, to cleanse a space, an object, or a person living in the village. In recent years, smudging has uncovered a myth of anonymous ritual
Launch
shamans.
properties made in rest.
People learn about this online and believe it to be true. Cans of sage and fresh herbs are uncovered by ritual smudging. Sometimes used green and burning it through the house to slowly burn it. Tina would not wake up with the house beyond the wall presence of shame. So he
Get ready to race.
after a pass through the home,
The race is just about to start.
running on a
The tension here at Seaside Roots
I can hear some of the brokenness in the voice though.
electrifying. All right, it's time to fire up those engines.
sage smoldering downstairs. His eyes had barely
Hang on, I can hear the emulator buffering.
was cold. Certainly loud enough for Tina to spring up from the bed, bleary-eyed.
Three laps to go. This one's yours. Okay, let's go.
The music is super broken. The sound is just broken.
Even just plant pots being thrown around, but clothes, lamps, books, candles, chef's knives, coins, kitchen chairs, bars, it was back all right, and it was as if they were making up for lost time. Now you might ask if they involved religious leaders in this. They had previously, but now, when Keith and Tina reached out to them for help, for some reason they didn't respond. For example, the Catholic Church did not seem to return their calls. Their friends contacted their own churches, but nothing seemed to work. Indeed, whenever they tried to get churches to help, the activity seemed to ramp up in the house. It was as if the thing in there was angry at their attempts to get outside support. All this activity was starting to put an extreme strain on their relationship. Keith said that the arguments would always be about the same sort of things.
Rendering? I don't know what any of that means.
Today, it's your time to do the smudging.
Buffer graphics, I don't know what any of these options mean, but I know they're to make it either run
Conflicts seem to fuel this eager presence.
better or not.
For example, on one day, Keith and Tina had a huge bust-up about the house. Soon after that, they heard a loud explosion sound coming from the hallway. It sounded like something had just crashed into the home. And Keith was on his computer at the time upstairs, and after hearing the explosion, he rushed out of the office and was shocked.
Did I just make it run less fast? Did I did I just fuck it up?
A few hours after that door incident, this is interesting. As soon as the team walked into the house, they were struck by a bizarre humming sound. It seemed to be vibrating through the house. And so the team quizzed Tina and Keith on that, saying, like, what is that sound? They both looked at him and said, what's that? The couple noticed the hum too.
If they were not broken, it would be so much better. I agree. The audio is broken.
A strange white mist,
There is some issues with the emulator. You're right.
and they found shards of broken glass.
But I don't know enough about settings to fix them, you know? Like, if I knew more about what any of this was,
Dome on each one.
it'd be a little bit different.
Sunday, after that huge argument, every one of those domes had exploded. That night, after
Let's see if this changes anything.
the house, Keith and Tina went to bed. But they quickly fell asleep.
Whoa! Hey! Hey! Did we just, hey! Did we fix it? Dude, we just made it way better. Yo, did we just fix it? Dude, we just made it way better.
This is great. Yeah, it's a new record. 2 laps to go.
did make it better. Hey, we fixed that broken sound and the speed of the game. It even handles better. I don't know enough about, so there are options to make the games run smoother. I just don't really know how they work, you know what I'm saying? Oh, look at that. The sound is good for this game, you're right.
That's amazing! Yeah! It's a new record! Okay, the final lap. Hang in there. You're almost in the You won't be able to set them off. You got it. You can pass them.
Oh my god, okay, so now the game's working perfectly. For me to be able to pull off that nasty little drift.
Okay, let's move on to the next round. Okay, let's check the replay.
Harry was on there performing a song on the course, so he turned the channel to something else, a non-music channel. Then he turned it off and went back to the office. About 5 minutes later, the TV came back on a second time. Only the TV had switched back to the music channel, and Katy Perry was singing Dark Horse.
3, 2, 1, go! Good. Let's keep this up. 3 laps to go. Just a little bit more. Okay, let's go. Easy win. Excellent grip. All right.
This fucking guy. the controller sticks handle really accurately, but the pad does not. But the sticks do handle really accurately.
can feel that this race is gonna be really happy.
Which is frustrating in one sense. You know, why not just get it next time?
3, 2, 1, go! Looks like you got a good start. Can you keep your lead? 3 laps to go. All right. Okay, let's go.
Pretty cool.
You see, Keith would sometimes have to go away with work, and he would stay in hotels. And he normally loved those times because he could finally get a restful night's sleep. But he was in a hotel one night when the blanket he had over him in bed was suddenly yanked off. I don't mean slipped or slid off, I mean yanked hard. And he woke up with a jolt, but there was nobody there. But he did see the sheets strewn across the floor, as if whoever had just done that had got what they wanted, to scare him awake. And now they had discarded the sheet. The most worrying thing happened the next morning. He and Tina always kept their phones on and online overnight because they needed to call one another due to the house activity. But when he woke up that morning in the hotel, he grabbed his phone and he was shocked to see a whole slew of messages from Tina that had not come through in the night. And it was messages like, "Why are you not answering? Where are you? I need you." And each of these messages was saying more and more things going on in the house that night. She was facing slamming doors, loud banging, all sorts of things. Well, he called her immediately, but he couldn't get through. And he tried 10 times before she finally picked up. This idea of Keith not responding to text messages played on Tina's mind. She started to wonder if he might be having an affair. This was especially unusual because his children began to appear in the house that didn't belong to her. But Keith said he had never seen it before either. The strain was getting on both, especially as this presence seemed deliberately hidden. For example, Keith started to find family photographs of his face burned out from his little brother's college graduation. I imagine this. Can you see almost two faces? Fragmented in this photograph on the left and partial face on the right. Keith was seeing shadowy figures too out of the corner of his eye. He attempted to draw what these things looked like, and these sketches might look rudimentary, but imagine seeing those for real in your own home. It would be frightening. There were more fires too. For example, on a Sunday morning, the fire alarms went off again. Both of Keith's computer monitors were found in flames. They had to throw the wet shower curtain and wet towels on top to douse them. Then Tina shrieked because there was something else on fire, the shirt that Keith was wearing. They tore the shirt off and threw it to the floor, putting out the flames, and it had these weird burned circles on it. At this stage, they had lost thousands of dollars from the damage this thing was causing. Others would say, just move out. But Keith felt this wouldn't solve his problem. What if it followed him or Tina? And if it didn't, who's to say the next tenants wouldn't suffer the same thing? And he kept picturing a young family moving into the home, a husband, wife, kids, and he just hated the idea of them facing this. Well, Halloween night of that year was particularly chaotic, with a whole series of markings being found on the wall, including strange figures only drawn upside down. Do any of you out there recognize this symbol? I'm unfamiliar with it, but perhaps you may have some information on what it represents. A few days later, he even found the words "Die KL" scrawled on the wall. He even found it written on every wall of his office, including the ceiling.
Oh shit, did I get it to work? Or I'm getting better at this.
Now, of course, I wasn't present before when all this happened, so I can't guarantee the truth of the stories.
Didn't know that was gonna kill me.
built on a pre-existing dwelling. That was this. It's exactly what it is all supposed to be. Without any evidence Steve Miller and Don Phillips concluded that the house was the site of a, quote, intelligent haunting, and they issued an official certification to that effect. Well, to date, over 7 books have been written about the events of the Buffalo Labs, including 3 by Keith Ruth novellas, US Haiti, Witness, and Tina. House a little bit more. And he spoke to that previously. That by then she had died. 2016.
Shut up. Shut up. Investigators at face value, then ask yourself this. Walls learn to knock themselves. How does wood learn to burn itself? Oh, holy mackerel crap. Oh, come on. What just happened?
Did you know that there are over 1,500 Game Boy Advance games? There was something special about the Game Boy Advance that created some of the greatest memories in gaming, but it was also apparently far too easy to put out childhood secrets.
Alicio, what's up, bro?
It received a Metacritic score of 45. GameSpot gave it a 20. This port has a host of new problems that render the game virtually unplayable. GamePen gave it a 10. Not only
We're just testing the emulator, trying to get the games to work on different emulators for the PSP. I've noticed a lot of the PSP games aren't working properly until I tweak with the settings.
Gym on Super Nintendo, and it's a fantastic game. So, despite it being number 25 in the worst Game Boy games ever, I've got high hopes for it. Which I should. Well, that's a lovely sound. Alright, let's go. New game. Anything but tangerines. Oh. It's so... Why is it so janky? No. Where is it? I mean, it's a little bit like the original. Way cool. Except, take away...
A lot of weird indie games on this PSP that don't need to be here, like Angry Birds
Do I not?
and Solitaire. I feel like that's a cop-out.
Okay. Alright, I'm back to this gun. Press down. What is that?
Yeah, some of these are cop-outs.
It's very janky. Yeah, give me that thing. What the heck? I don't understand.
Like some of the indies, good. But not all of them.
Okay, so if I go...
Dracula Undead Awakening, kinda wanna play that. Don't know what it is.
What's happening? Pig shoot. Am I supposed to become a pig? Okay. Sorry. I see
Whatever this is, Fly Food.
I'm supposed to pick up a pig. Why are the controls like
A lot of
this?
indie stuff,
It
never
takes
heard
so
of.
long to get moving. Alright. Here we go. Now I can get past. Groovy. Not fair. I'm trying to get... What is this? It's like...
This looks cool.
Compete on the world's most popular game show. Play your cards, build your tracks, launch explosive locomotives to destroy
Wow.
your enemy. It's like it's trying really hard to have the character of the original, but it's just such a poor execution. No!
Ninja Murai.
Oh, okay. Cool.
This looks insane. Whatever this is, this looks insane.
So, green guys don't stay on the screen for long enough to actually do anything about them. Alright, so I gotta slow my little car down to avoid the falling ladies. And then I gotta speed up.
I heard Pac-Man Championship Edition is actually fun.
Can I? No, let me jump off! Let me jump off! Oh. Alright, speed up, speed up, speed up. No! I swear I dodged that granny. Oh. No! No! Stop! No! Make it stop! Just let me do the dang granny thing. Far out. Jump. Jump, dang it. Alright. Slow, fast, slow. Dang it!
I am curious about some of these, even the old-looking ones.
Take Earthworm Jim and then just strip out what makes the game
Tetris.
unsatisfying and just make it annoying and tedious and confusing. I get it. Not that good a game.
The Terminator.
It's only number 25. It gets worse. Next we have Oddworld Munch's Odyssey, which actually got an 80 on Metacritic, but that was Xbox. And this was back in the day when they would release a game
War
with the
Sombria.
same name for different platforms, and they were just an entirely different game of complete different qualities. So the
Wizard.
Xbox version got an 80, sure. Game Boy Advance, 44. More tiresome than it is challenging and fun, regardless of the poor graphics and problematic controls. Oddworld Munch's Odyssey for the Game Boy Advance could have been a great game for fans of the series if it had anywhere near the same amount of charm or cleverness as the
Let's see if we can get this to run semi-smoothly.
will do nothing to revive the franchise's ailing reputation. Poor hit detection and sluggish
You read Tiny Hawk? Yeah, Tiny Hawk. Some of this stuff, I don't even know they're actual games that exist.
Microsoft Game Studios. I guess it's an Xbox game. I wasn't an Xbox kid growing up, so I have never heard of Oddworld. Right, okay. Abe? Hi, my name's Abe. I used to be an employee of the year in the I escaped now and they're saving it for Dirk, but somebody's got to do it. Hey, a Munch! How's my body? Munch is a gappet and might be the last of his kind. You should make up words. What's a Gluckle? Brothers from the Gluckles? Let's go and see what the raisin ones? You just mashing words together. The almighty raisin, okay? Stitch lips and gadget.
Alright, running at a horrendous speed. Let's see if we can...
Raisin? Wait, how long does this
Let's
go
see if we
for?
can fix
Oh,
that.
it goes for a while. We've got a whole bunch of very important story to get through first before we start playing a game. Meditation sites, let's go. Okay. I got one of something. I got two of that thing. Am I just collecting green bubbles? Can I do? I can do a boom. Can I do anything else? No. Oh, I can whack. So that's good to know. I can whack. Let's keep collecting green bubbles. It seems fun. Should I whack this? No? Oh, I should. Jump over stuff. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for that. What about this? Lock door. You need 20 spruce to release the spruce lock. Of course. Collect spruce shrubs.
What's deposterize? I don't know what that means.
Oh, I got here. I need 2 more spruce shrubs. I assume I need to get up here somehow. My right ear is really liking this sound. Oh. Oh, there's no... My sense of depth was completely lost on that. I had no idea. There we go!
Wait, what did it say?
Oh yay! More spruce shrubs to collect. My favorite! Oh no, that's not enough spruce shrubs.
Interesting.
10
I mean, I just
spruce
made it
shrubs
worse.
store. If you're low on
Let's
spruce,
check it out, though.
you can regrow more with Abe's chant ability. Chant next to the spruce bud. With
Oh no, I made it better.
that?
What? I made it way
On
better.
edge. Can you blame me? All this
I mean, the graphics aren't the best, but they're PSP graphics.
assignments, like they're hanging me out to dry. You must be pretty busy with everyone off base.
Off base? Wait, haven't you heard? There's been a mass desertion at Soldier.
The edges are all weird though.
Let me through this first lock. What? What do you want from me? I'm slapping the dang thing. Is this how far I'm gonna get into this game? Because I can't get past the spoosh lock. Is this really all this game is gonna be? I'm pressing the same thing. I did before. Do you want me to grow some more spoosh? I'm gonna do some spoosh chanting and stuff. Do the thing. Yeah, that's exactly where I wanted it to go. It's the same button to slap as it is to chant. Alright, okay, I've got enough. Let
Zach.
me through the lock, please.
It's good to finally meet face to face. Lazard, director of Soldier.
I've got all the spruce shrubs I need. I'll be
Hey,
serious right now. Let me in.
On to business.
Is that it? Is this all the game has to offer? How did I even get a 45? First of all, it's very hard to be
Soldier First Class Genesis.
I can't figure this out for the life of
A
me.
month ago,
Got enough anyway, so
he went missing during a mission in Utah.
dang door. I did.
Know anything about this?
Not a clue.
Oh, yeah. More spruce shrubs.
The mission is currently stuck in limbo. That's why we decided to send you.
To Wutai?
Yes,
What's this?
this war has gone on long enough. I've recommended you for first.
Angel! Oh, I love you, man! Angel!
Don't make me regret this, Zach.
Sir,
Once you're packed, you'll leave at once.
Oh my gosh. The crazy thing about this is that, like, I have no idea. The games I had were just the games I had. And there's not much I can do about it. Like, sure, maybe you could get a new game every now and then, but it was a rare occurrence. And so if you ended up with Oddworld, Lunches Odyssey, collected spruce shrubs, trying to grab things and throw them off mountains and chanted little seedlings, that's just how you had to have fun. That's just not right. And you sit there and you play it, and you play it until you really get stuck at some point in the map, and you never pass that point until your cool cousin comes and does it for you or something. I thought Earthworm Jim was bad. That immediately got so much worse than number 25. That was number 24 though. Next up, Mike Tyson Boxing, or as I like to call it, Mike Boxing Tyson. It's an Ubisoft game, so you know it's good. It's got a 44. Same as the last one. Well, this game could have been a contender. It falls flat onto its face. Gruesome and indescribably disappointing. A boring, repetitive exercise encountering your opponent. Sounds awesome. Let's play it. English. Versus showcase. Alright, let's go to practice first. Why is the text like that? Step into the mics, shoot 'em, and take on a sparring partner with one of the main round champion to give them. Alright. Oh, I don't know. Oh, it's like 3D. That's kind of wild. Maybe the other button is my partner. Is he supposed to attack me at all? Okay, cool. Well,
Oh, that's Crisis Core? Yes, it is. Oh, hang on. I'm falling off my chair. Fool, I banged my head a few times learning the half Steve, but can you do a half Steve now with both arms back and forth? And my ankle doing the rotor behind behind my back. Pretty painful. How fast were you going? Because usually if I go slow, it's not too bad. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't seem to hurt.
Yes, let's
I'm shocked this didn't have Kingdom Hearts in it. Not with two hands back and forth, just one. I can start him with the left, but it's not smooth, you know. It looks clunky still. Fair enough. Sometimes my left hand's still clunky when I do it, so no shame. The scariest alien stories on Joe Rogan. Okay, let's check. Let's put that on.
The scariest alien stories ever told on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. On the Joe Rogan Experience number 1574, featuring James Fox. James Fox tells a story about how some children in Zimbabwe encountered a UFO. Now, James Fox is a documentary filmmaker known for his in-depth explorations of UFO phenomena. James Fox literally dedicated much of his career to investigating and documenting UFOs and alleged alien encounters. Now, back in 1997, James
Dude, I believe you will get there. I can tell already. The fact that you got it staffed is already huge amount of it.
James thought that maybe he could get an interview with Steven Spielberg for his documentary, so he asked his friend to ask Steven Spielberg for an interview. And while Steven Spielberg declined the interview, he told James Fox that he should look into a certain UFO encounter at a school in Africa. Now, when James Fox did some research on this particular UFO encounter in Africa, he immediately dismissed it. Fast forward about 10 years later, James Fox met a guy who was working on a documentary on the UFO encounter at a school in Africa. So James Fox decided to work with that guy on that documentary after dismissing the encounter in the first place. Take a listen.
There were roughly 100 kids on the playground, broad daylight, aerial school, Zimbabwe, 1994, and they got within, or some of them within arm's length of these beings, and brought these witnesses together for the first time in 20 years, and a lot of them hadn't even told their significant others, just because they said they were tired of having to defend this. And I myself didn't believe it when I first heard about it back in 1997, and that segment of the film is the most, in my opinion, is the most powerful segment. It's very compelling. You've got all these children saying what they saw on camera after it happened, and then you see them 20 years later, and then we go to Africa and we meet with the headmistress. She was a teacher at the time. We meet with other witnesses. We go right inside. We talk to people at the school. That case is absolutely, it was witnessed by lots of other people in the area for some days before it chose a school to land. It's so compelling because the children are all clearly, they're not actors. So as they're adults later, they're all talking about this moment. And it's like they have a religious experience together. Like they're all sharing it and talking about it. And you can tell it's like, it's a deeply moving experience. If they were actors, they wouldn't have been able to do such a good job. Because
Yeah, bro, it's the learning of the new instrument. I play ukulele and you suck at it first, but if you're passionate, you will learn a lot. Bro, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It is basically like an instrument. You're absolutely correct.
if you had that scene in a movie, it would take like a really good actor to pull it off. And they probably need multiple takes and probably want to get the best one. But those kids, the way they were talking about it, the way they were drawing it, you're like, wow, it really does seem like something happened to them.
Now, just for all of you who don't know the full story of the aerial school UFO incident, basically on the morning of September 16th, 1994, at the aerial school in Ruma, Zimbabwe, 62 students, yes, 62 students aged between 6 and 12 years old, reported witnessing a strange aerial phenomenon and encountered beings of unknown origins. So at approximately 10 a.m., while the teachers were inside for a meeting, the children were playing outside when they observed one or more silver disc-shaped objects descending from the sky.
Check routine of Hunter S. Thompson on Joe Rogan. Why? What is Hunter S. Thompson? Who is he?
Field of brush and small trees. According to the children's accounts, several beings emerged from the craft. Descriptions of these entities were remarkably
I do not know who that is.
Shiny black clothing. Some children noted that the beings seemed to, glide or hover rather than walk. The encounter lasted approximately 15 minutes. Some children fled in fear, while others remained and observed the beings. Several students reported that the beings communicated with them telepathically, conveying messages about environmental degradation and the potential consequences of humanity.
I'm a little confused why nothing's happening.
The incident quickly garnered attention. Local UFO researcher Cynthia Hind visited the school shortly after the event, interviewing the children and collecting drawings of what they had seen. BBC correspondent Tim Leach also conducted interviews, expressing his astonishment at the consistency and sincerity of the children's testimonies. In November of 1994, psychiatrist Dr. John Mack traveled to Zimbabwe.
Activating combat mode.
Known for his work on alien abduction.
Oh my gosh. Everyone talks about that movie so much that I can't stand that movie.
Oh yeah! Conflict resolved.
Yo, we got the game working, bro. We got the game actually working. Get out of here.
Which is very strange. I mean,
With Johnny Depp, he's the protagonist, a writer who
sizes aliens.
was brilliant but also super wild.
Think they understood that it was
Yeah, I've heard of that. Everybody's like, you should take acid and watch that movie, and I'm like, nah, I'm over that. Kind of like Pineapple Express. Like, oh my god, you should smoke and watch Pineapple Express. It's so good. Oh my god, Pineapple Express is the funniest movie when you're high. I hate it when people suggest like the most popular movies ever, and everybody suggests it. I'm like, bro, get out of here with that. Oh my god, Game of Thrones is so good. You just have to force yourself to watch it 5 seasons until you start caring, until you develop Stockholm syndrome and like it. You never heard of Pineapple Express? Oh my god, shut the fuck up, bro. You're so lucky you never heard of that movie. When that movie came out, everybody and their grandmother wouldn't shut up about it.
for the first time we've got testimony from a science teacher. So why do these things land in schools? It seems like, and I'm just totally speculating here, but it seems like if I were going to do that, it seems like a pretty benign environment. When you have testimony from military guys that we took a very hostile position towards things that penetrate sensitive military installations, and so maybe I'm just saying maybe they say maybe it's safe.
James Fox also talks about a similar sighting in Australia. And again, for those of you who don't know, he's referencing the Westall UFO incident on April 6, 1966. Now, on that day, in the Melbourne suburb of Clean South, approximately 200 students and staff from Westall High School reported witnessing a mysterious flying object. Witnesses described seeing a silver or gray disc-shaped object with a dome top hovering over the school grounds. The object was observed descending behind a row of trees into an area known as the Grange, which was a nearby open field. Some accounts mentioned the presence of five-light aircraft tracking or shadowing the object.
Anyway, you're funny. Anyway, there's a Joe Rogan video where he writes the daily schedule of his writer, and it's the craziest thing ever. It's funny.
Circular patch of flat grass, suggesting a landing site. The object then reportedly ascended rapidly and vanished from sight. In the wake of the sighting, the school's headmaster convened a special assembly, instructing students and staff that they had not seen a flying saucer and were not to discuss the incident. Some witnesses recalled being warned by men in uniforms to remain silent, and there were reports of officials cordoning off the landing site and removing soil samples. Now on the Joe Rogan Experience number 1976, James Fox also tells a different alien story, this time about Brazil's Roswell. Brazil's Roswell started on January 13th, 1996. From January 13th, 1996 to January 20th, 1996, numerous residents of Virginia and Brazil began reporting sightings of unusual
Have you played the remake of? Yes, I've played a little bit of it on my PS4. Dude, it's so good. Dude, it's gonna be on Switch too. That's what I'm gonna play it on. Well, you played 20 hours of it. That's pretty solid. Even if you didn't like it, you gave it a good try. Navi, Navi, what are you doing over there, girl? Come in there with your poo-poo. Look at the poo-poo. Like that. Too many bullshits. Why did you hate the remake, and why do you like the original better? Why is it bullshit? Because I never played Final Fantasy VII, so to me, I only watch having children and like watch videos on the story. So to me, the remake is super cool.
Trucks transporting large crates. Brazilian authorities gave conflicting reports. First denying everything and then suggesting that the girls actually just saw a homeless mentally ill man. And some believe the US or the CIA or even NASA was involved, having allegedly pressured Brazil to keep the incident quiet. Now James Fox was working on a documentary about Brazil's Roswell and even interviewed the three girls who saw the strange being. Take a listen.
It's the only Final Fantasy I've beaten is 16. I never played the original, just watched videos. You too? And you still hated it? Oh, that sucks. I like Kingdom Hearts, so I think Final Fantasy VII kind of felt like a different version of Kingdom Hearts to me. They like diluted the thing too much. Interesting. 16? Which one is 16? 16 is the latest one for PS5, wasn't it? Okay, so 16 looks fucking sick. But I have actually beaten several Final Fantasies. Actually,
I'll be joining
because
you
we have
as
this
well.
emulator, we're gonna try to beat some of the old ones I never beat. Like I never beat any of the old ones, so we're gonna try to do that.
Come first. Is it? No.
To become a hero.
Ah, good. Unattainable dreams are the best kind.
I like thanks.
Some indication of the level of like how putrid and nasty was paralyzing. And it stayed in, like it stayed in the areas like at the hospitals when they did the x-rays and everybody talks about it. There's a itch there, it's just unbelievable. Like it fills your navel cavities and doesn't leave for a week.
I almost want to push the graphics to see how much could it take before it starts stuttering like crazy. Protagonist is Clive, which is now in Tekken. Okay, shut the fuck up. Are you telling me a Final Fantasy protagonist is in Tekken? Stop it. No way. Dude, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. That's a crazy crossover. Like Akuma and Tekken. That shit is also crazy. Tekken is also really good.
Interviews that strange men came to her house, and while she didn't
Oh, look at the tear in the back. We're tearing the back graphics. When I played online and go through ranking, I get smashed by people using them. That makes sense. Usually DLC and like characters from other franchises tend to be pretty strong. Like Akuma. He's OP. I could imagine. Isn't he like teleporting around and using swords and shit like Kingdom Hearts style? Because Final Fantasy games used to be strictly turn-based, but then Kingdom Hearts came out, and it's obviously not a Final Fantasy game, but features Final Fantasy characters. And ever since then, Final Fantasy started changing from strictly turn-based to a more freestyle Kingdom Hearts type combat. We definitely need to beat the old games on stream. That would be sick. If we beat some of the old Final Fantasies on stream. Okay, so now because this is emulator, I'm seeing a lot of screen polygon tearing and stuff like that.
Oh yeah! Resolved.
Unless that's part of the game, like it's all a simulation.
Activating combat mode.
Later.
Oh yeah! Conflict resolved.
This is kind of a turn-based active combat.
Launching phase. Howitzer.
Oh yeah.
Conflict resolved.
You know, my neighbor who runs like he runs that Make-A-Wish Foundation, and he was like, James, he goes, bro, I like you a lot.
So, Angel, what's the deal with dumb apples?
The official name is Benora White. The trees bear fruit at random times during the year. Because of that, the townspeople affectionately call them dumb apples.
All I can say is, just listen to the witnesses, don't take it from me. But I'm
Local farms had plenty of them to spare.
I've been at this for 30 years.
Oh, really? So you stole them?
We were poor, Zach.
Nice excuse.
But even then, I had my eye. The largest Benora White tree grew on a wealthy man's estate. It was rumored that those apples tasted the best. But I never stole from that tree because the wealthy man's son was my friend.
If he was a friend.
This thing actually came with several like JRPGs for us to play, like really good ones, old ones, but they're really good old ones. Like shit I've never played because I just never had a PlayStation and stuff.
What exactly does this have to do with me?
No story is not worth hearing.
What? That's it? Yeah, well, thanks a lot.
Who actually died a few weeks after allegedly coming into contact with the alleged alien. And again, I just kind of want to quickly expand on
Do
this.
we level up?
James Fox mentions how the guy who drove the alien
Activating combat mode.
Oh yeah.
Conflict resolved.
So battles are a little stuttery,
Activating combat
depending on where we're at.
Oh yeah.
Conflict resolved.
But am I gaining XP for that, or am I just...
Activating combat mode.
Later.
Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode.
Bring it on. Oh yeah.
Conflict resolved.
All right, let's see if we can push this thing a little bit. See what happens. Simulate block transfer effect. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
Say the doctors told them off the record that his immune system had just simply shut down, but they couldn't explain why. Now, Marco's
Do we
mother
want that on? I don't know.
interviews and documentaries.
Require this
I
for.
quote, "My son died because
Okay.
of what he touched that day. I know it, and they told me to stay quiet." She also said she was pressured by authorities not to talk to the press and was warned to stop asking questions. In multiple interviews, family members stated Marco was not himself. After the event, he seemed emotionally disturbed.
Let's see if that changed anything.
But couldn't talk about what
Kind of made the graphics a little less sharp,
allegedly visited
like in a good way.
after his death and discouraged them from making
But it's hard to tell with the background glitching.
about you guys, but with all of these facts and the eyewitness accounts,
Activating combat mode.
Oh yeah!
Conflict resolved.
but of course, what do you guys think? On the Joe Rogan Experience number
Activating combat mode.
Oh yeah!
Conflict resolved.
considered by many to be the most credible alien abduction story because it involved multiple witnesses, an official missing persons case, and polygraph tests. So the story goes, on November 5th, 1975, Travis Walton was part of a 7-man logging crew hired by the U.S. Forest Service to clear trees in a remote part of the Apache Singrius National Forest.
Oh, that did improve the graphics. Holy moly. I mean, it's making it run like crazy, but it did improve the graphics.
Conflict resolved.
Look, bro, that's so much. That's insanely noticeable.
Activating combat mode.
But the game is stuttering.
Conflict resolved.
The other guy's warnings, and as he walked beneath it, a bluish-green beam of light shot down and hit him in the chest.
It's definitely running a little bit goofier.
He was thrown backward like a rag doll, violently slammed to the ground and motionless. The crew panicked, thinking he was, dead or being abducted. They sped away in the truck. After driving several miles, the crew stopped, argued, and then decided to go back for Travis. But when they returned, he was gone. No trace, no body, no scorch marks, just completely gone. That night, they went to the police in Snowflake and reported what happened. Officers were skeptical, thinking maybe it was a cover-up for murder or an accident. Now, the next day, a massive search operation began. There were helicopters, police dogs, volunteers, and tracking teams. But for 5 days, there was no sign of Travis Walton. Now, on the night of November 10th,
Just really pushing a PSP emulator.
Denver, Arizona, about 30 miles away from where he vanished, when his family
I mean, the game looks amazing, but the but we can't run it.
terrified and unable
The game looks way better, but it's not gonna let us run any of that.
at first. After Travis calmed down and began piecing his memories back together, his story unfolded like something out of a sci-fi film. He awoke inside of a room, laying on a table with a bright light shining above him. His body was in pain.
I think times 2 is about as much as it can handle,
Vision cleared. He realized the figures
and even then
were human. He described
it's getting questionable still.
5 feet tall, large bald heads, huge brown eyes.
Activating combat mode.
Oh yeah!
Conflict resolved.
Cleared tube-like object nearby and threw it at them. They backed off and left the room, and he
Kind of interesting though that we can do that.
tried to find a way out, and then he entered a different room. Now, in this room, he met a tall, human-looking man with golden hair, wearing
This is regular PSP
Activating
graphics.
combat mode.
a gesture.
Yeah! 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 Oh yeah!
Conflict resolved.
He gently pushed him down onto another table and placed a mask over his face, and then Travis Walton
Activating combat mode.
remembered was standing right
Yeah! Yeah! Oh yeah!
Conflict resolved.
combat mode.
Safety. 5 passed, 1 was inconclusive due to nervousness, and none of them found to be lying. They never changed their story, even decades later. Travis took multiple lie detector tests, deception, and
Oh yeah. Resolved.
Joe asks Travis about what he remembers right after being abducted by the aliens. Take a listen.
My consciousness was kind of like in and out for a while. I didn't know where I was.
Is that some tutorial part? Dude, to be honest, it looks fine for me. It does look fine either way, but I can clearly tell, like, this thing will push the graphics more, but then it'll run like complete asshole. It's just kind of interesting to see.
When I finally laid eyes on these
The fact that it even gives me the option to do that is kind of funny.
programming that we get from Hollywood that aliens are
Like, why give me an option of crashing the whole console if it's not going to be able to run it anyway? But also PSP graphics, you know, how far can we really push it?
That's our cue.
The diversion will allow us to infiltrate.
Right. I'll set the bomb inside the fortress. It'll charge the front gate and
And
indulge yourself.
you got it. That's what I do best. Come on, B unit.
There's a little bit of striking on the part of the aliens against me.
You know, I've never actually seen you use that.
Lashed out at them.
Don't you think it's sort of a waste?
I felt
Use brings about wear, tear, and rust.
to do much, so
And that's a real waste.
arm contacted
You're serious, aren't you?
fell back.
Yeah,
Wait,
I can be pretty cheap.
Yeah, no kidding.
Begin mission.
Taking combat mode. Conflict resolved.
I wonder how many times Zach will say later or back off by the end of the game. A million times, I bet. Is he saying anything? Back off is like Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Like he's like, back off.
Hi guys, I'm Kelsey Cochran.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode.
Yeah, bro. He already said it. He already said it. Dozens of times during combat. Really, I didn't notice at all.
Activating combat mode. Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode. Launching the escape.
Here we go! Go, go, go!
Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode. Conflict resolved.
They did a remake of this too for PS4 and PS5. Curious to see what it looks like.
Activating combat mode. Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode. Launching the escape. Power surge.
Prove your honor to me.
I got it!
Damn, bro.
Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode. Conflict resolved.
shit.
Conflict resolved.
Oh, you can kind of move the camera with R. You can move the camera with R1 and L1. That makes my life a lot easier.
Activating combat mode. Conflict resolved.
Personally, the experience was simply just flying up to the air like I would any other day. Instead of seeing an empty airspace with just my wings or another sort of doing something a different block, there were all of a sudden a lot of different air contacts, which is immediately a problem because then we could meet any one of those or someone working in our area. This was happening because we upgraded our radar the best we could tell. Generally speaking, we would expect to see, more objects if there were any out there, more smaller objects, but there shouldn't have been any objects out there. Our working areas start about 10 miles off the coast, and then it goes out 250 miles or so, but we don't usually use those far eastern areas. We always get open water, so we really only need our working areas.
You look like our investigator.
Between the working area and the land, but never over the land. Sometimes over the bays that are in the area that are quite large. Never just kind of supervised overlay or anything like that. Now, Joe Rogan asks Ryan Graves if where they were flying, where they were allegedly seeing these UFOs was restricted airspace. Now, this is an important question because if where they were flying wasn't restricted airspace, those objects that they were seeing on their upgraded radar systems could have just been other aircrafts. Now, Ryan Graves explains that where they fly isn't technically restricted airspace, meaning that at times other aircrafts could enter the airspace briefly. Ryan says that when that happens, those aircrafts get called out immediately. But also, speaking much broader, the Air Defense Identification Zone in North America, which is practically just an area around North America where the United States and Canada can basically, track all of the aircrafts that are coming towards their airspace. Now, any aircraft entering that zone must tell air traffic control in advance, or they get deemed a threat.
Activating combat mode.
They saw these aircrafts in the area.
Launching aid bay. Launching aid bay. Launching aid bay. Power surge.
Prove your honor to me.
I got it.
Conflict resolved.
Which is, what is that in miles per hour? It's about 100, 130, 140 miles. So they're completely stationary with 140 mile an hour wind. Correct. Now you may be asking yourself, how does an object stay perfectly stationary at altitude with over 100 mile per hour winds hitting it? Well, that's honestly a great question. Ryan Graves even says that isn't the part that he doesn't quite understand. He explains that if you imagine a sphere surrounded
Should we check out a different game now?
and you wanted to keep that sphere completely stationary against gravity,
Yuffie?
It's very difficult to get an object to stay completely still with 100-mile-per-hour winds hitting it, especially since the direction of the wind varies as well. Ryan explains that these UFOs didn't even seem like they were fighting against the wind. It was almost as if they were just there. Now, Joe Rogan asks Ryan what was going through his mind the first time he saw one of these UFOs. Yeah, the first time really was, well, what is this, right? It's not a UFO or something serious at this point. It's what we're thinking is what was on the radar. It's just, well, a radar and Putin, right? These perhaps don't represent physical objects yet because we hadn't, visually seen these or seen them on our camera yet. And so, we kind of like, hey, what's going on here? And, is anyone else seeing this kind of thing? But not really like investigating, right? It's just kind of like, all right, there's stuff out there, but next time we'll take a look. But the way our systems work, when we have all the contacts on our radar, we kind of just select one out with a little cursor there. All our sensors go to it. Our FLIR goes to it, which is our camera system. We have all our weapons. We have like their own eyes in some sense, and they all look represented on the radar, right? So there was something there.
So they were seeing it visually with their own eyes?
Not at this point, just on the FLIR system. And so that's it's a regular camera and also an infrared camera. And so typically we'll roll around in infrared because it returns a better image. Typically, so now on the cameras that the pilots were looking at, that were pointing at this thing that they were seeing on
Why we can't hear them? What do you mean? Why can't we hear what, the people? I heard them.
as if someone was pointing a flashlight at the camera, but obviously there was something in the sky with them that was reflecting that light on the camera. So at that
Was to fight both of them at once?
Activating combat mode.
fast this object
Conflict resolved.
Second girl, I couldn't hear what they were saying.
want to minimize how much you're turning.
They were, no, I could hear them. They were talking. I don't know why it didn't pick up though.
Straight level. So by having racetrack
Dude, I just worked those bosses like it was nothing.
position by maximizing straight level time.
Director Lazard, are you watching?
How long would these things stay up?
Gotta move.
So for my
Another one?
No time to play.
contact with, but it wasn't until they actually saw this object that they realized that really made them question what was in the air with them. There were two aircraft from my squadron.
That's one more you owe me.
And we flew, or excuse me, they
lost your focus.
Essentially flying in a formation like this. As it
Yeah.
one of these objects went right between the aircraft. The lead
Oh, sorry if your sword got any wear, tear, or rust on it.
dashed
You're a little more important than my sword.
not surprising because they're usually, you're very focused
But
on
just a
flying
little.
formation. You're just staring at the aircraft. The lead really has actual leeway to look around, so he saw it, and he immediately came back. I have to assume
Thanks.
he didn't have it on his radar because he wouldn't have flown through this object at the entrance point. He turned around, flew back, landed, and I was in the ready room when he would come back, and he had all his gear on, which typically is not a good thing because you want to get that stuff off as fast as possible. So usually means there's a problem of some nature, and he's just sitting there saying, "Hey, I don't see one of those damn things." And we all knew what he was referring to, even though we didn't necessarily have a name for it, just because we were seeing these so much. And he described it. He described it just as a black or dark gray cube, and that cube was inside of a clear, translucent sphere. Essentially, the apex of the corners of that cube, as he could tell, were touching the inside of that sphere.
The guy who finally saw this object with his own two eyes described it as a black or dark gray cube that was inside of some type of translucent sphere. Now, it is interesting that that pilot described it looking like that because that's not the first time that there have been reports of a UFO that fit that exact description.
Oh shit.
Activating combat mode. Alternating phase. Power surge.
Here we go! Go, go, go! Oh yeah!
Conflict resolved.
It could be made of repeating. It's easy for repairs. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Living Spaces is partnering with Krypton Home Fabrics, the top indoor performance fabric brand, with 6 exclusive collections.
These are 30 of the craziest new conspiracy theories shared on the Joe Rogan Experience. From quantum AI communicating with the multiverse, electric cars being hacked, and even evidence of nuclear war in ancient Egypt.
Okay, what do we have
These are
here?
the most mind-blowing conspiracies on JRE. This brings us to the first clip where Joe Rogan and Duncan Trussell delve
Tekken.
into a fascinating and unsettling conspiracy theory that if a planet gets too intelligent and creates advanced technology such as AI and nukes, aliens will come down and destroy the planet or end the current civilization. This is a conversation from episode number 1953.
Imagine if we went to visit another
Monster Hunter 3 Portable.
space travel
I
where
love Monster Hunter, but that game will take a fat minute.
in like 6 months.
Terminator.
Get to another planet. And so we start doing these 1-year journeys
Hang on, I gotta pee real quick.
of galaxies. And we find a planet with a primitive version of human beings. Like a human beings of, well, just not even primitive, just not modern era. Like a few hundred years ago.
Ooh, okay.
Mark of the galaxy, the largest supermassive black hole. And there's some real speculation that that black hole would also hundreds of billions of galaxies, hundreds of billions of stars. One of the galaxy has a supermassive black hole. Go through that, another universe, hundreds of billions of galaxies, hundreds of billions of black holes. Go through that, hundreds of billions of galaxies, universes everywhere. And then there's dimension. This is the real speculation. You know, when people start talking about aliens, alien life, and there's two thoughts. One thought, well, there's more than two thoughts. One thought is that they are us from the future. Another thought is they are us from their people, their things, their intelligent life forms, maybe even artificial intelligence, something that has been created from other galaxies that is physically transported here. And then the other thought is interdimensional travel, that there are beings from somewhere that are capable of visiting this dimension that we exist in, but they exist in something, so they are here all the time. They're just here in a way that we have no ability to access them, but they can access us.
Okay.
Reflects on
I'm
the
back.
vastness of the universe, suggesting that our understanding of it is so small, it might be comparable to less than a
Is this all PSP games? Yes. There's 267 PSP games.
known universe and neurons in the human brain.
A lot of them are just bullshit though. Not all of them are like classics. Like Crisis Core is obviously a PSP classic, you know.
Expansive universe. This concept hints at a potentially infinite and interconnected cosmic structure.
Yeah, which is weird that like the universe is so big.
It's like really cold in my garage. It could be because I'm wearing a sauna suit, but it feels fucking freezing.
Way to describe it. It's a grain of sand. Maybe it's not even a grain of sand. Maybe it's an atom.
Chinatown Wars, that came out for the DS as well.
And maybe
Sinonia sounds really familiar. Also have favorites that I set up already. This also looks good. This looks interesting. Bro, Tenchu 4, is it good? Kilala, get down. Hey, get down. Carajo, Kilala, what are you doing, man? You just moved the whole tripod.
maybe the whole thing is fractal. So maybe what we are is what this planet is. I mean, I'm sure you've seen when they look at. Have you ever seen the
Tenchu, Shadow Assassins,
universe in comparison to a neuron?
or some Final Fantasy.
See if you can find that. It's entirely possible that it's just constant.
Or Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars, which I've never ever played before, ever.
This entire universe is an atom. It's a part of
You've never owned a PSP, but you love Tenchu. Interesting. What is Tenchu originally on?
that is infinitely large. That is impossible for us to grasp our head around.
To wrap up the conversation, Joe reflects on the striking visual similarities between neural networks in the human brain and the cosmic web of galaxies, wondering if they are fundamentally connected. Take a look at the image showing the resemblance between human brain cells and the
PlayStation,
structure of
PlayStation
galaxies.
2.
Rogan speculates that the universe itself could be a single brain cell within an infinitely large being, potentially a part of a civilization.
Kilala, shut up.
So that's a brain cell. That's galaxies. And when you look at that, I mean, goddamn, those things look the same.
Kilala, hush.
Neural network and the cosmic web, they look the same. And if they are the same, if that is what a brain cell is, then the entire
Kilala,
universe
shut up.
of the brain of an infinitely large individual that's a part of a civilization that also exists in another universe that's a part of an infinitely large being that's a brain cell of that. That universe is a brain cell of that thing. And then it just keeps going and going and going and going. And even the idea of the Big Bang is just like, maybe not. Maybe it's always been here. Maybe it's just constant. And maybe it's God. Maybe the whole thing. Maybe those people, aliens, whatever you want to call it.
Tenchu Wrath of Ninja for PS2.
75 million years ago, and he said, hey, no life
It has Symphony of the Night. Yes, it does. It does have Symphony of the Night. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Billy cast delve into the evidence suggesting
It probably runs pretty chill too. Hey,
they discuss
Kilala, get off my
skeletons still line the
shit,
streets to
bud.
this day. They also explore possible reasons behind the conflict. This is a conversation from episode number 2160.
You can capture that energy and you can transfer it into a device for gold electroplating, for any of the electrical tools you need, like some of the tools they had to have used to create some of these incredible works of art.
My cat is like moving everything. Carajo.
Way back then.
What is with you, man?
If that's true, that's insane.
It's not cute.
There would be some kind of physical evidence of a device.
You're starting to annoy me. It's not cute when you do that.
For some sort of ancient chainsaw, right? Or something. Yeah, they did a great job cleaning
Virus, it's aware. I've never heard of this PlayStation game.
to bury another couple hundred pyramids there at Giza. Do you think they poured
I also have Silent Hill, but it's in Portuguese, so it's hard to understand.
when Giza, when the pyramids existed, it was a
Vandal Hearts, I heard it's good.
if you go back before the pyramids, like 9,000 years ago, it was
I have no idea what that is.
and then over time,
Umbra Walker
sand,
looks cool though.
with the entire Sahara Desert, which is really crazy. We're talking about the other day, they find
PSP's Ultimate Fighting Championship? You mean like the original UFC? That's crazy.
War that occurred thousands of years ago in Mohenjo-Daro, which he claims shows evidence of a nuclear conflict. Carlton explains that in the aftermath of the war, the intense heat caused the sand to turn to
Twisted
ice.
Metal is good.
Skeletons are still found lying in the streets to this day, preserved for thousands of years, adding to the
Some games I've never heard of.
So the point being that this place has changed.
Tomb Raider. I only like the remakes. I don't like the originals as much.
So who knows?
Even though I understand why people like them because they can be good.
There's just sand over time. Well, if you look at the tablets again, they talk about this war.
Tiny Bullets.
War that occurred in some
That looks hardcore too.
this one particular war. It seems like the same one that damaged the area or the region of Giza.
Thunder Crisis.
Also Mohenjo-Daro in the Indus Valley up there by Pakistan. And the reason why it's interesting is if you look at the war in the text and then go to those areas, it looks now almost
Raiden Project. Raiden is really good too.
like war. Mohenjo-Daro in this valley, the buildings turned to glass, the sand turned to glass, and the bodies are still laying in the street right now today, holding hands, never been scavenged by animals. So, I mean, where is this? Mohenjo-Daro. And then photos that we can look at? Oh, yeah, look it up. Mohenjo-Daro in this valley, dead bodies still laying in the street thousands of years
Tenchu for the PlayStation 1.
Nobody's covered them up. Yeah, when you put a Geiger counter
Tekken 3, 2.
background level radiation. Okay, yeah.
Take a look at
Tatsunoko fight. I do know Tatsunoko. I think if I'm yep, I do know what it is. Okay.
were uncovered during archaeological
Tactics Ogre Let Us Climb Together. Never heard of that. Looks cool.
1931. Reports indicating that the bodies were neither buried nor scavenged by animals have sparked widespread speculation.
Siphon Filter got 3 different games, so they must be good, right?
Their deaths.
Swagman.
Additionally, archaeologists discovered a layer
Looks
of
funky.
petrified materials in parts of the site believed to have been caused by
Bro, there's 700 PlayStation games. This is a little ridiculous.
of a significant high-energy event in the ancient city. Some theorists propose that the vitrified material and reported high radiation levels at the site
Striker
may be evidence
or
of
Strider,
explosion
cool.
or similar advanced technology. These findings continue to intrigue researchers and spark debate about the city's enigmatic past.
Obviously, I like the Street Fighter games. I don't have an issue with it.
Oh, shit.
That looks interesting.
You know, what could have caused that level of temperature, that energetic release?
Spyro, I don't care.
It could have been a low atmosphere asteroid. It could have been. You mean just like that's possible? Tunguska. Yeah, it could have been a low, but their bones would have been splattered apart and broken up in pieces. Good call. Yeah, that's
Spec Ops, there's a bunch of them, so I'm assuming they're good.
broken apart. No, they're not broken apart. Right. That impact would have shattered the bones and spread them out over a great distance. Without impact.
Don't know what that is, but it looks epic.
Burst in the atmosphere in Tunguska, it just flattened trees. Flattened everything. Oh, I think it's some insane, like completely
I don't see Legend of Dragoon.
Tunguska explosion. That one's, yeah, so those bodies would be toast.
Slap Happy Rhythm Busters. I mean, that looks pretty cool.
Legs would have flown off. Right? There's no way they would
Stuff that I've never ever heard of. Silent Iron.
seem to be like chopped up. No. Did they have any evidence?
What is Silent Iron and why does it look cool?
They don't have any evidence of any injury of any kind of attack or any cutting like swords or anything. They just all got cut. Right. And then in the tablets it says that the evil wind moved over the land after they released these weapons. And then Enki goes to his father. I mean, yeah. Enki
Obviously, the Tony Hawk games are legit.
Can you stop the evil wind?
No questions asked.
People, you know, and down there.
The Alien games look cool too.
like radiation sickness. So do you think it's radiation sickness that did this to all these people, or was it an impact that did this to all these people? Nobody knows.
The context,
He also had a Gundam game
also
too.
known as Ea in Akkadian mythology, is one of the most important
Batman and Robin.
in
I mean, we
ancient
could.
Mesopotamian mythology. Enki is the god of wisdom, water, creation, magic, and fertility, and he plays a
But are
central
any of
role
these
in
Batman
Sumerian
games actually
and
good?
Akkadian myths. Joe asked Carson how conventional archaeologists explain the events at Mohenjo-daro.
Sailor
Carson
Moon,
responds by
Blade.
describing other ancient wars and weapons of mass destruction that he claims existed in those times. He claims to be powerful enough to destroy any man on 3 worlds.
And they just don't know what it is. So how does a conventional archaeologist describe it? Do they just say it's a massacre? They just call it a mythical massacre and they stay away from it. When you look in the other text, the Mahabharata and the
This looks interesting too.
find out about these wars also. They're recorded. They have weapons called the Brahma Astra and the
Bushido Blade. There's a couple of them, so I imagine they're good.
They describe them as doing, duplicate what you saw there.
Capcom versus SNK 2, and this is the first one though.
These can't be revolted or can't be turned back, and that they will obliterate any area, any city. And they say that one of the weapons can destroy any man on 3 worlds. It's crazy stuff. This is where Oppenheimer got his famous quote when he obviously tested the nuke, right? Now I have become death, destroyer of worlds. He got that from the Mahabharata.
Cowboy Bebop, the game. That's pretty crazy.
After you detonate the first nuke. Oh man, great, what a great world.
The conversation shifts to the idea of ancient beings, often referred
A lot of Crash Bandicoot, Crisis Beat. Don't know what that is, but it looks cool.
argues that these beings were not singular deities as traditionally interpreted, but rather multiple gods.
They have Fighting Force 1 and 2, actually, for the Nintendo 64 and PlayStation.
Result of these gods warring among themselves over resources, populations, and control of the planet.
Yeah. So the idea is that there were beings that were having
MSG 17, I don't know.
were they do you believe they
Fighting Force, it does have, because I played it with my son the other day. It's super
were
fun.
having wars with other beings? They were fighting with each other. And evidence of these wars can be found in the book of Deuteronomy in the modern day Bible. These gods, I didn't mean gods with an S, because everywhere in the Bible
The first Dead or Alive, that's fucking
it's
crazy.
actually a mistranslation. The actual, if you backwards look up the translation in Arabic and then now to Aramaic and everything else, you find out it's gods, plural. They were fighting each other over resources and people and control of the planet.
I didn't see Final Fantasy 7, the original, either.
Tells people go to this city, and it's like a far city where they don't even know that these people exist. They go over there to kill them. He says, kill the women, kill the children, and bring the spoils of war back to me. And you see these wars in the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, the Sumerian tablets. And these wars are just nonstop. The Indian Vedas, and it's always about attacking another city. And he talk about Trojan horse.
Dude, there's so many games, I almost don't know what to even start with. It all just looks so cool.
And bring back these spoils, which is pretty crazy stuff. Just like they were attacking each other. They had gone around.
Up next, Joe Rogan
Cotton.
and Michael Malice discuss the possibility of humanity facing extinction due to an impending
Origin.
volcanic eruption. Joe emphasizes that both humans and our current technology are unprepared for the catastrophic destruction such an event
Fighting
will
Force
cause.
2, bro, I didn't even know they have a
When
second
this
one,
eruption
but they
could
do.
occur. And if he's right, it's much closer than you'd expect. This is a conversation from episode number 1952.
The reality of human life is that we're subject to a host of uncontrollable natural disasters that are imminent.
Yes.
They're going to happen.
Yes.
Yellowstone's going to blow. We're going to get hit by an asteroid, and we might nuke ourselves too.
Sure.
Like all that stuff is real too. So that's
Yes.
all on the table. And also, I've talked to enough people that are like they're really educated in the history of ancient cultures and ancient
Digimon
civilizations
World
and the
2,
evidence
Castlevania.
of
Did you ever beat
natural
Castlevania
disasters.
Symphony of the Night?
People have to start from scratch. It seems like we're a part of like this giant never-ending cycle of getting knocked back into the Stone Age and then rebuilding to a new version of complex society. I think we're on a version of that now, but I think there's been many versions of that.
Damn, even the original Persona.
On the table for us.
But I think it'd be a lot easier for us to bounce back than someone 2,000 years ago with our technology and our ability to. No?
No, not at all. Not at all. Because when it hits, first of all, very few people survive and everything goes to shit. There's no electricity, no generators work, there's no one pumping oil, no one knows how to make a generator, no one knows how to make a cell phone, so all that technology's
What
lost.
the Jim Baker people do? Wait, so what would this be? Like a meteor? Other than a meteor hitting the Earth or
I
something?
bought it on Steam, but I haven't played it yet. Okay.
Joe cites the Yellowstone volcano
How much did it cost you on Steam? Because that's an old game.
And to be honest, he makes a solid point. Around 640,000 years ago, one of Yellowstone's last major eruption, the Lava Creek eruption, unleashed absolute chaos. The super eruption ejected a staggering 1,000 cubic kilometers of material, with ash spreading across North America and traveling as far as the Gulf of Mexico, about 2,400 kilometers.
I have, but backlog. I'm replaying Tomb Raider trilogy. Okay, the remakes. Oh, okay, so I beat all the 3 of the remakes. They're so good, bro. That's pretty cool. See, this looks obscure. What is this? Why does it look cool? What is?
Like they didn't realize that it was so big until somewhere in like the 2000s, I think it was. They did satellite imagery and they realized, oh my god, that's the caldera of a volcano, like this Yellowstone thing. We thought it was just this crazy place.
Game Boy Advance has 1,000 Game Boy Advance games. A lot of these go so hard.
Continent killer, and it blows every 600,000 to 800,000 years, and everyone dies.
Even though I've ruined my Pokemon Crystal version.
And it happens every 600,000 to 800,000 years, and the last time it happened was like 600,000.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Academy, that's my favorite one.
Oh, we'll get hit. We'll get hit.
Metroid Fusion's good. Metabots, Metabee, I heard it's good.
Joe points out that this phenomenon
This Fire Emblem is supposed to be good. Boost Fury, that's what we're working on beating.
the theory becomes frighteningly accurate. Yellowstone
We could play some Bomberman.
times in recorded
It'd be
history,
weird.
and each one was a massive event.
G Revolution looks good. Batman Begins looks kind of cool.
Which occurred 2.1
No idea if it actually is or not.
Mesa Falls eruption.
There's a DS simulator too.
Finally, the Lava Creek eruption hit 640,000
Old games I'm never gonna play.
reshaped the planet. The Mesa Falls eruption
Pokemon Crystal, which I ruined the ROM by putting so many cheats in it that it's now not playing.
600,
Pokemon Silver, which works.
40,000 years since the last eruption, putting us dangerously close to the pattern.
Are there actually any good games though for Game Boy Color that we would actually want to play, or is it just pretty much Pokemon? Because I feel like it's just Pokemon.
Such as the Topus
Anything else is just kind of like ridiculous.
Indonesia.
You know, it's happened before. Was it the Toba? Was that what it was?
Yeah, what would be good on Game Boy Color? Like nothing.
Years ago, they think not the
A
human
Bomberman, I guess, would be cool.
Holy shit, really? Okay. These things happen, man, and they happen with regularity. In terms of if you look at the timeline of the Earth, they happen all the time. It's just when is it going to happen now?
Zelda. Let's see if they have Zelda for the Game Boy Color.
Projects, if you know the value of working with your hands.
Oh, you're right. Oracle of Ages or Seasons or whatever. Those are good. You're all right. You're right.
Prices that work just as
Those are actually really good.
because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done.
Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages. I think that's what I recall.
Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Look at all these random fucking games that no one's ever gonna fuck with.
Mitigates its effects in some way.
David Beckman Soccer. Get out of here.
Everything dies, no crops, nothing. Everything's just
Dexter's Laboratory. Okay, that looks kind of cool.
Michael challenges Joe's pessimistic outlook on the future. In response, Joe argues that his concern stems from the lack of attention people give to these issues.
Is this a D-make? Dragon Ball Z Super Warriors? I think this is a D-make.
Ultimately leaving them unprepared when the disaster struck.
You can't really live your life with concern.
Dude, I've never heard of these games. What the fuck is Dracula Crazy Vampire, Doug's Big Adventure?
okay. Get it? Because I'm like, yeah, hopefully it's gonna be great.
Dragon Ball Z Legendary Super Warriors. I feel like that's not a thing,
I'm glad to hear
but it is on the Game Boy Color. I think it's a ROM hack of sorts. Dragon Tales. I hated Dragon Tales growing up. Dragon Quest. That's Dragon Quest. Dragon Warrior. That's Dragon Quest.
Things that people are dismissive of, or that they don't think of as a threat. Because
I mean, there's a bunch of them, so they must be good.
when something like nobody, like people lived in Pompeii, like that volcano,
Duke Nukem for the Game Boy Color. Yeah, that sounds terrible.
until they just didn't understand. Like you're in a terrible spot.
Elmo. Some of these just look terrible.
That thing goes and it
Like
goes
just
all
trash.
It just doesn't go within your lifetime, so you don't understand.
Like if you paid money for some of these, I'd feel bad.
You know, an ant to us, an ant lives a few days, right? They're gone. We live 100 years if we're lucky. Volcanoes are hundreds of thousands of
Grand Theft Auto for the Game Boy Color?
These
What?
long cycles, some of them, these super volcanoes, and they just blow, and you never know when it's gonna happen.
Harvest Moon. Okay, that kind of makes sense.
Islands in the
Heroes of Magic and Might. This was good enough to get 2 of them.
Suntan lotion on, sit out there and have margaritas. You're on a volcano.
Joe expresses concern that humanity is
Fu,
focusing
hold on. What?
priorities
Whoa, what'd you
while
see?
climate change gets significant attention. He believes we should also focus on threats like volcanic eruptions.
Ghosts and Goblins for the Super Nintendo. Oh, that's tough.
Even with our modern technology, we have no solutions or means of prevention.
And that's our life. That's the reality of living on Earth. This is not stable.
The game is hard.
These nutty people that are talking about climate change.
I've played it before.
It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah, it's fucking hard. Yeah, you bet it's hard. Yeah, I know it's hard.
But also,
I've played it.
there's so
It's
many
definitely
things
super
to be
hard.
concerned with. We have zero
Looney
solutions.
Tunes,
We have zero
Madden.
solution to asteroid impacts. We have zero solution to things that have wiped out.
Mario Tennis is really good for the Game Boy Color.
We know it. We're for 100%. They find the crater in the Yucatan. They find green.
Mary Kate and Ashley, gross.
Greenland.
Is there one in Siberia or somewhere?
Oh, yeah.
Mega Man Extreme 1 and 2, pretty cool.
That's the one that they think happened during the time where Earth passes through this meteor shower. There's a comet shower. How do they refer to it? But I think it's every September. Or, no, every November.
Pokemon
We
Pinball.
pass through this thing, and most of the time it just gives you meteor showers in the sky. You see, like, people get excited about that. You can kind of predict when that happens. Well, that's why they know that it's going to happen, because it happens during these times we go through this meteor shower.
Resident Evil Gaiden. No way.
What happened in Tunguska in the early 1900s, because it happened during that timeline. So whatever this thing was, it didn't even make
Robopon. I used to love this game as a kid.
Like a million acres or some crazy trees.
For context, the Tunguska event took place on June 30th, 1900.
Sabrina, the animated series, like the Teenage Witch.
Siberia, Russia. A massive explosion equivalent to 10 to 15 megatons of TNT destroyed over 2,000 square kilometers of forest, topping an estimated 80 million trees. Take a look at this image of the explosion site. 100 years later, no trees have grown back in the affected areas. Insane, right? The Tunguska event still holds the record as the largest atmospheric explosion in modern history.
Neo Geo.
Jeez.
Pocket.
Holy, look at that picture. To this day, if there's no trees there. Seriously?
Three,
Yes, to this day.
Doom. These have some games I've never heard of. 400 games. Or no, 37 games for the 32X.
I don't know. It just blew out whatever it did to that area. That soil sucks.
Sega Master System. But do they have Sonic?
Up next, on a lighter note, Joe Rogan and Sam Morrill dive into the idea of a future where our thoughts are constantly monitored by law enforcement agencies.
Yo, I heard of Phantasy Star.
Scanned through a database, and you can be arrested for simply thinking the wrong thing.
I've heard Phantasy Star for the PS2 though.
Chips could give governments this level of control over us. This is a conversation from
Sega Chess sounds cool. Shinobi? I heard of that too.
Get arrested for your thoughts. Like, cause I think some things that I would never do. You gotta erase your browser mind thoughts.
Sonic Chaos.
Good job.
Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2. Okay, at least it has 1 and 2.
Had an impulse to just smash someone in the face, but you were resisting it. You weren't gonna do it. Are you a good person if you're resisting it constantly?
The Lynx?
Depends on who you're
I don't know what games you'd play on Lynx, bro.
You're constantly getting in fights with people. It might be.
Atari, I wouldn't even fuck with. That sounds terrible.
That person who's like this. Everyone's in it on your stories. But there's also times that some people need to be smacked, and there's those moments. Like, imagine if you could get arrested because you tested positive for a potential aggressive episode, right? A COVID test, you get too long.
Hype level bigger than GTA 6.
You're imagining
Dude, new Ninja Gaiden? That'd be crazy. Okay,
smashing this.
Dreamcast?
Yeah.
Alright.
Hey man, stop doing it. But if you have that thought, I'm about to smash that guy. Dee, 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 dee. A light goes off.
No way every single one of these games plays perfectly.
Arrest you.
I fucking doubt it. Dreamcast, that's higher graphics than a PSP, so I'm gonna say that it probably struggles to play a lot of these.
But I didn't do anything. But you might have. Yeah. Or they'll tell you were going to. We know. We have predictive technology.
As the
Sega
discussion
Genesis, pretty cool.
deepens, Joe and Sam segue into the topic of brain implants and chips. They explore the
We need to pick a
uncertainty
game
the future could soon
and
arrive
keep
where
testing this thing out, because I'm gonna make a video from it eventually.
basic tasks like transactions to function in society. The thought of how much control governments could wield once everyone adopts these chips is chilling, and it's no longer a question of if, but when, as Elon Musk's Neuralink
Should we do front mission
Yeah, oh, I go to LaGuardia.
for the DS?
There are the longest lines now. No shit. Yeah, so sometimes you just get, I just, yeah, take my shoes off again. I'm going
Castlevania 64, Castlevania Legacy of Darkness 64. No way.
the outline of your penis.
The sound they sound almost like they'd be terrible but good. These are the games I favorited, games that I want to check out eventually.
I gave you my, you gotta let me cut.
Well, you have to have the update in the chip. Do you have your update? You can fly if you have your update.
Did you update your brain?
Did you
We only have you flaccid. That's what we need on
Breath of Fire. Why does that sound familiar?
chip will let you pass through. You don't ever have to worry about identification.
This also looks crazy.
Be grateful for that. I could let you update right there at the airport with some janky terminal.
Chrono Trigger I've heard but never played, so I added it. Digimon World 2 I've heard good stuff about but never played it.
Safe place.
Diablo I've heard stuff about but never played it.
Like a subway terminal. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll get to the point where you'll just have an account in your head and you won't have to pay for anything with a credit card ever again. It'll all be
Forsaken I've heard of but never played.
Bank digital currency. If you subscribe to Central Bank digital currency, we can iron out all the inequality and all the problems of society today.
Don't get us.
Joe takes a logical approach to implant technology. On one hand, he acknowledges its potential benefits for people with paralysis or certain disabilities, offering life-changing solutions. However, he raises concerns about what happens when healthy individuals start using it. What if the government steps in, makes it mandatory, and refuses to let you remove it, all under the guise of serving the greater good? The implications of such control is scary when you think of it.
If you're a paralyzed person, it's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's way better to be able to do that than not.
That's true.
But once we start doing it too,
Yeah.
Sam, I know you're not
Kinda wanna play Code Veronica,
benefits of linking up.
but then I have to actually play Code Veronica, like start the whole thing.
Witnesses are gonna be
Think about linking up. I mean, my cousin linked up. He's never felt better. You know, he signed a 1-year lease. You link up for 1 year. You can't.
We got the PSP emulator working.
It'd be like Ozempic. You give the linked up people like a year to see how they do, and then you're like, I might link up.
No, it would be like military service. Like, you have to, if you're gonna link up, you have to link up. You have to commit to 1 year because you're contributing to the grid.
Yeah.
Contributing to the grid.
I wish you could alphabetize your favorites once you have them chosen, but you can't.
You're taking off the parts where you screw it and get infected.
I can individually search for something though.
You have to get a re-up.
You look weird. You're like one of those weird people that just disconnected.
I have 146 favorite games. That doesn't seem
Up next,
correct.
Joe Rogan and Jonathan Ward discuss the theory that corporations and industry leaders actively suppress individuals who develop innovative ideas that could disrupt or revolutionize their industries. This is a
But we gotta pick
conversation from
something.
episode number 1444.
Okay, so right now I'm working on Boost Fury,
There was a
and I'm working on Final Fronts.
visiting toroidals, and he had a Ford Focus that would do his like his daughter's old car with a blown up motor. He had his own toroidal motor
Resident Evils would be cool.
could run from the energy in the charged particles in the air. What? This thing did like 15 miles an hour on a flat.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater, I beat all of them, but obviously games that I want to check out.
Charged particles in the air.
I need to know how they run.
Charged particles as the technology improved.
Zombies Ain't My Neighbor, I beat that game, but it's super cool, but I prefer to play it with multiplayer.
And then that same guy, I saw him once at a trade show, and I was exhibiting at the show as well. So I was there on setup day. I was bored out of my cord.
I kind of got Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles working, but really slow, and it's in Japanese, so I couldn't understand a shit about it.
Code in this shitty little booth. It was like 6 by 10 foot booth, and at a show where people have like 200 by 60 foot booths. He's got this odd little toroidal thing, and then a bigger toroidal thing, and literally like.
This game is trash. I'm gonna remove it.
It's like, dude, what's going on? So I started talking about it. He starts explaining the technology and what he was doing. And like the smaller one had 300 foot-pounds of torque, the larger one had 2,000. And he was looking to develop it for rail cars, for semis, for cars, like and on and on and on. He's like, yeah, the biggest problem is stopping it once it gets going, because the toroidal structure meant that the compression cycle from 12 to 2 of that first cylinder was such that when the combustion occurred.
I want to see if it works.
Next piston into the next combustion cycle and kept going.
Hype level bigger than GTA 6.
Was a challenge, and then how to stop the damn thing was like the bigger challenge. But they'd run on like horse piss, ionic charged particles, diesel gas. Like they didn't even need spark plugs. So I'm like blown away by this. I go back the next day. Poof, where'd he go? Booth's gone, empty, done. And I had the guy's info. I tried to reach out to him. Website gone. The website I looked at that night before, gone. Got gobbled up. 5 years later, I see him again at another trade show with another kick-ass design, and man, was he a bitter man. It's like, yeah, never again. Because they bought it and they shelved it, I'm never selling anything again.
Joe asks Jonathan what he thinks might have actually happened, and Jonathan suggests that the product was likely purchased with the sole intent of shelving it. He also adds that he is not entirely sure who is behind it, and this situation is not isolated. Over the years, there have been numerous cases where groundbreaking projects were buried, or even worse, their inventors disappeared under suspicious circumstances.
So what do you think happened if you're a conspiracy theorist? Do you think someone bought him out and just, oh, I'm a small independent business owner realist, and that, hell yes, someone didn't like that, and they shelved that shit. So they bought it and then just shelved it. Yep. So his next product. Who did that? I don't know. He was very cagey about it.
Joe tells the story of Stanley Meyer, who in 1998 claimed to have invented a car that ran on water. The process involved splitting water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen with minimal energy. However, later that year, Meyer died suddenly after a meeting with investors, and his very last words were, "They killed me. They killed
Okay,
me."
it's pretty cool. DS simulator.
Disruptive and innovative, so we can put it in a little box and call it a conspiracy theory or whatever. Yeah, therefore it never happened. Well, anyone who doesn't believe in conspiracy theories, I say, look at Jeffrey Epstein. It's real clear. Meyer said his invention can do what physicists say is impossible: turn water into hydrogen fuel efficiently enough to drive his dune buggy cross country on 20 gallons straight from the tap. He took a sip of cranberry juice, then he grabbed his neck, bolted out the door, dropped to his knees, and vomited violently. I ran outside and asked him what's wrong. His brother Stephen Meyer recalled. He said, "They poisoned me." That was his dying declaration. That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Up next, Joe Rogan and Graham Hancock delve into Hancock's theory that the mysterious iconography embedded between two felines found in multiple places across the Middle East is unlikely to be a coincidence. They discuss the potential connections between these carvings and their deeper significance, exploring what they might
Fang, get down.
Curious to what they were trying to represent. Human mastery of animals is the only one I've heard that's being suggested. But it seems like they're trying to get him. Well, he does in that case, rather than or that he's holding them at bay, preventing them from getting each other. Yeah, and then if you go down to the Egyptian one, which is the Kabbalah life handle, there it is. That's right, Egypt, pre-dynastic Egypt, same thing. And then the next one is from Tiwanaku in Bolivia. That's a redrawing from Tiwanaku in Bolivia, and again, it's a man between two felines. So when I see this kind of complicated image turning up all around the world, I can't help feeling that there's a remote common source, which is shared
down.
by each culture
Get down.
representing or influencing the other. It's a remote common source that they all share. So what I'm saying is we're seeing a sudden emergence of something that is being recognized as a civilization in Turkey, just immediately after Göbekli Tepe, around the time of Göbekli Tepe, and we're seeing it in the Jordan Valley, and we're seeing it in the Indus Valley, and we're seeing it in South America as well. The same iconography keeps on repeating, and I don't think it's a coincidence.
Up next, Joe Rogan and Julian Leonard dive into a fascinating discussion about Google's Willow quantum computer. This groundbreaking machine is set to communicate with computers in parallel universes to solve complex equations. If true, it represents a monumental leap in technology, connecting us to realities beyond our own. This is a conversation from episode number 2243.
Well, one of the things that I've talked to about with some pretty insane brilliant people is quantum computing.
Oh, yes.
And this new Google quantum computer that can do essentially the way a quantum computer works, a problem that would take thousands of years for every computer on Earth to solve. I get some of this after something that can take more years than you literally can understand. It can be solved in 15 minutes. It's insane, and this is where it gets really weird. The way it was explained to me, and we should have to Google how quantum computers work and why people connect them to the multiverse, so I don't fool this up. But the idea is that they're pulling answers from different universes simultaneously. They don't even completely understand how this is working. But the amount of power in computing is incomprehensible. Incomprehensible. Like you're only looking at it, there's numbers, you run all those numbers out, but your brain's not capable of grasping really what's going on. And it's probably the biggest breakthrough technologically in human history by a long stretch. And it's all happening without most people even being aware of what the implications are.
Take a look at an image of Google's quantum computer. It's unlike anything you've seen before. For context, quantum computers are like regular computers, but much more advanced. Instead of using bits, which are either 0 or 1, they use qubits. But here's the interesting part. Qubits can be both 0 and 1 at the same time due to a concept called superposition. They also rely on entanglement, a strange phenomenon that lets qubits share information instantly, no matter the distance. This means quantum computers can perform multiple calculations simultaneously, making them incredibly fast for solving complex problems like cracking codes, optimizing systems, or simulating molecules. However, they're extremely sensitive and require ultra-cold temperatures and precise setups to function properly, so it's not going to be available to the general public anytime soon. To get a better understanding of the quantum computer, Joe reads an article where the founder of the quantum AI explains how the machine works.
Google's quantum AI founder said the performance gains lends credence to the idea that we live in a multiverse. The idea is that Willow might be communicating with parallel universes to finish calculations faster. Like what? What does that mean? The announcement led Google's already high stock price to surge, which is not shocking, but perhaps most surprising for us lay people that Google's quantum AI founder and lead Harmon Eben said that the chip's performance lends credence to the notion that quantum computation occurs in many parallel universes in line with the idea that we live in a multiverse. And that says, excuse me. This obviously has caused a bit of a stir and it isn't exactly clear on how he made that leap. It sounds a bit like something out of a sci-fi movie, and I'm definitely not going to pretend I'm an expert, but it's worth pointing out that Google's very much still in the theoretical research phase of this understand.
Joe reads a segment of the article explaining how Google's quantum chip solved a problem that would have taken the world's most advanced classical supercomputer 10 septillion years to solve in just 5 minutes. There's no denying it, this is probably the most advanced technology humanity has ever developed.
So AI's founder, Lee Hartman, said that the new chip performed a purposefully complicated exercise called a random circuit sampling benchmark in 5 minutes. One of the world's most advanced classical supercomputers, on the other hand, it would take 10 and then 3 zeros, 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 years to perform the same exercise. That's 10 septillion years, which exceeds known time scales in physics and vastly exceeds the age of the universe. So it can do more time than vastly exceeds the entire age of the universe, and it can do it in 5 minutes. The reason it can achieve such a monumental improvement in calculated capacity is because one is made of 105 qubits and contract.
What do they look like Street Fighter characters?
Potential data much faster and come to the right answer sooner. So like, what is happening?
To end this segment, Joe gives a final breakdown of how the quantum computer achieves such incredible speed and effectiveness, and the explanation will blow your mind. Tom Burns has
Che sta
only
tan
been
gordito sto femmina che viene presentato con sul pappe.
humanity's first step towards interacting with other universes.
Sampler language. Willow is doing one calculation on an unknown number of willows in
Sta gordito mi gatito.
doing their own calculations, and they are sharing that data to avoid needing to manually do every possible calculation to finish the equation. What the fuck does that mean? How are they sharing data between universes? I don't know. How's it happen? Remember this.
Not at least the Barrack Bunny.
Evidence saying that the fact that chip can outperform our best supercomputers by such a wide margin means that it might have broken Newton's theory of physics.
Up next, Joe Rogan and Tim Dillon discuss how America seems to be on the brink of destruction, with few people showing concern about the country's direction. Instead, everyone, including Tim himself, appears to be prioritizing their own interests. They explore how this self-serving mindset can ultimately lead to the rise of totalitarianism. This segment is both humorous and unsettling, highlighting the potential long-term consequences for the nation. This is a conversation from episode number 1860.
When I was a kid, I remember reading about the fall of the Roman Empire, the fall of the Greek Empire, and then there was something about America. And I was like, what's this thing? Is it bad? Is it possible? Is it possible that this is just one? We want to think it's fucking permanent, but at the end we're wrong for the same time. Of course, they think this
I believe this is a tactics game.
fucking dystopian horror movie, and no one will never be able to be funnier than America, because we're a crazy country and full of crazy people, and everybody's just trying to suck the last few dollars out of this, including paying the corpse of an empire for the end. How different.
Joe wants to tell you what he thinks will happen next. He wonders if we'll ever reach a point where the government has total control. Tilly responds by describing a scenario where the world descends into chaos, paving the way for a dictator to rise to power. While the dictator may promise change and a better future, Dylan warns it likely won't be in the best interest of the people.
What happens next? Do you think it will ever descend into some sort of like CCP control world? Or that kind of totalitarian government? Do you think it's possible that through technology and just through people just being
It reminded me of Into the Breach. I've never heard of that.
what happens next? We'll just have, these odd giant oscillating swings between right and left, and then I think, eventually we'll get to a point where large areas in the country
Tú estás gordito feo. He's just a kitty. He's just a chocolate kitty.
Hang on, I gotta get comfortable. Hey, get down, you little fuck.
Damn, bro, that thing is tanking all my hits.
Take a look at this image of the Egyptian obelisk in the Vatican. So, here's a side-by-side image of the courtyard of Teotihuacan and the courtyard of the Vatican, once separated. As the conversation continues, Carter reveals that the Vatican has also been involved in investigating extraterrestrial life. He shares a bizarre story about a pope expressing a desire to baptize the first alien.
The thing about what they have is they don't have the kind of alien. So if they do, like there's some archives that they have in Rome that have been surfaced, like they're not just opening them up to everyone. Right. So everyone can look into what they have. So there's always been speculation that they have some wild shit written down there. Yeah, some wild stuff. I mean, if they're investigating aliens, right? I mean, one of the Pope's most recent speeches, they were talking about years ago. They were talking about years ago that they wanted to, the Pope wanted to baptize the first alien. That's an incredible statement. That'd be like turning me Chicago into a scientist. Right? It's like that would be a whole area.
Oh, come on. What the flying F?
Alien life. That's not a good name. Yeah, I don't think anybody would know that. Right? The light bearers that, what Lucifer means, supposedly, but when they built the telescope named Lucifer. Right, but the swastika used to be a sign of peace. You can't really use that anymore. It's like things can be stolen forever. No one's rocking that head.
Up next, Joe Rogan and Art Cyberell discuss the theory that the government was involved in the mysterious death of Gus Grissom. Grissom died during a flash fire inside the Apollo 1 crew capsule during a launch rehearsal. Cyberell argues that the CIA intentionally sabotaged the ship because they wanted to fake the moon landing and knew fully well that Gus would not have cooperated. This is a conversation from episode number 2141.
I know the kind of person you are, and the kind of guess you have on your show. We're true patriots, and patriots have to face facts. There are people taking oath to this country is to protect it against all enemies, foreign and domestic. They always want misdirection and mean enemies of our country. We're the biggest traitors to our country or Americans in high office. Right? That's what's going on. And the first document of our country is in the Constitution. It's the Declaration of Independence.
Damn, he missed and I didn't. This is good.
Destructive of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is the right of the people or abolish it according to Benny Grisham. Because of his life, they take a third of our income. They deceive us knowingly. And then they use that money to pay the salaries of the CIA agents who kill Gus Grissom. People that couldn't tell to Gus Grissom's death. So Gus Grissom died in an accident, right? He died in a fire, correct? Yes, his wife says that fire was set intentionally. I understand she says that. I understand that. I understand that. Why she would believe that. That makes sense. Well, if her husband says CIA agents are messing around with people and then read the report, and he's dead the next day for 40 the CIA killed him. It's a pretty obvious conclusion. That's it could be possible. Yeah, definitely. But also, when you're watching rockets, a lot of people die. They weren't watching anything. It was just a great dress and pressing buttons.
For context, Gus Grissom was one of NASA's original 7 astronauts, known as the Mercury 7, and a pivotal figure in the early days of the US space program. As a skilled pilot and engineer, Grissom played a significant role in critical space missions. However, his promising career was tragically cut short in the Apollo 1 disaster in 1967. While Grissom's death was officially ruled an accident, Art Cyberell argues that it involved foul play. He cites evidence from Apollo 1, reports suggesting that the spacecraft may have been deliberately sabotaged, several claims that the CIA ensured Grissom wouldn't survive because of his global criticism of NASA's lack of preparedness for the moon missions. According to this theory, Grissom's integrity posed a threat, as he would never have agreed to
Oh my gosh.
would have exposed any such plan to the press.
And they found that they pressurized that space capsule with 100% oxygen or steel become flammable. They reversed the door the day before so that it opened in oxygen and increase the environment. That's a fact. They knew that to do that. And cause fatality fishing, yeah, that's fact. Well, she told me that's in the Apollo 1 report. So in the Apollo 1 report, it says they increased the oxygen by how much? Well, they hit 100% oxygen. They said why? It was just testing. It was something to test an experiment, right? And so then they had a fire bags. That's right. They rigged it with the boiling bags, and then they were reversing it. They did everything they could to make sure those guys weren't alive. They get rid of the guy because Gus Grissom had the asking. In fact, he said no way. Reporters for the same reason my sources, cyber engineers, kept this going because it's no longer a witness. So when the team found out that was because of the said this is wrong. We got to do this and was going to tell the reporter that he was killed for the very same reason.
Up next, join Roddy and David Holthouse to explore the theory that the prophet Ezekiel's visions from the Old Testament may be descriptions of spaceships. Joe delves into Ezekiel chapter 1, reading passages and discussing the contents with Holthouse as they analyze the vivid imagery and its potential connection to advanced technology or extraterrestrial encounters. This is a conversation from episode number 2129. Ezekiel's description.
This is one of my favorite descriptions from the Bible, the Old Testament, about UFOs that people love to bring up because Ezekiel has this thing that he describes, and it's the most bizarre depiction. I looked, I saw a man's custom come from the north, and a man's cloud with lightning flashing from it, a huge ball of fire glowing like bronze. Within the fire like four creatures vibrant with life. Each had the form of a human being. Each also had 4 faces and 4 legs. The legs were straight as columns, but their feet were clothed like those of a calf and small with the fire, like burnished bronze. On 4 sides of their wings had human hands. All 4 had faces and wings, the wings touching one another. They turned neither one way nor the other. They went straight forward. Their faces looked like this. In front of the human face, on the right side, the face of a lion. On the left, the face of an ox. In the back, the face of an eagle. So much for the faces. The wings were spread out, the tips of one pair touching the creature on either side. The other pair of wings covered its body. Each creature went straight ahead. Wherever the spirit went, they went. They didn't turn as they walked. The 4 creatures looked like blazing fire or fiery torches. Tongues of fire shot back and forth between the creatures, and out of the fire, rays of lightning. The creatures flashed back and forth like strikes of lightning. As I watched the 4 creatures, I saw something that looked like a wheel on the ground beside each of the 4-faced creatures. This is what the wheels looked like. They were identical wheels, sparkling like diamonds in the sun. They looked like they were wheels within wheels, like a gyroscope. They went in any of the 4 directions they faced, but straight, not veering off. The wheels were immense, small with eyes. The living creatures went, the wheels went. The living creatures lifted off, the wheels lifted off. Wherever the spirit went, they went. The wheels sticking right now. For the spirit of the living creature, the creatures was in the wheels. The creatures went, the wheels went. The creatures stopped, the wheels stopped. The creatures lifted off, the wheels lifted off. Because the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels.
Ezekiel's vision, detailed in chapter 1, Ezekiel, the Hebrew Bible, has captivated readers for centuries. Some interpret his descriptions as a possible account of an encounter with advanced spacecraft or extraterrestrial technology. This interpretation gained momentum in the mid-20th century thanks to authors like Mary Pontiac and Joseph F. Lorish, who re-examined Ezekiel's vision through the lens of modern engineering and space exploration, sparking debates about its potential technological significance.
The heads of the living creatures was something like a dome, shimmering like the light, like a sky full of cut glass, vaulted over their heads. Under the dome, one set of wings was extended towards the other, and another set of wings covering their bodies. When they uncovered their wings, it was like they were very powerful, like the voice of God, like the noise of a battle. When they stopped, they folded their wings. And then, as they stood with folded wings, there was a voice above the dome over their heads. Above the dome was something that looked like a
Foo, I'm going. Thanks for the stream.
sapphire with a human-like figure tapped
No problem, bro. I appreciate you being here. Have a good night, bro. You too, man. I'm probably gonna go to bed here soon too, actually.
down like a blazing fire, brightness everywhere. The way a rainbow
Have a good night, bro.